Hello everybody, my name is Brandon Hopkins and for today I am going to be your Akamai developer advocate. What we're going to be doing in this video is setting up a free and open source software to host your very own forms that you could fill out called OhMyForm. This right here is the dashboard in this video. We're going to be working a little backwards. First, we're going to demo the application, and then I'm going to kind of give you a brief overview of the installation process. If you are interested in getting something like this set up, I do recommend you check out the last video that I made for this channel, where we went over setting up Docker, Nginx, and setting up SSL certifications on Docker containers just like this. Even within that video, I demonstrated the really easy installation process for this, but in this video, we're going to be doing a little bit more of a deep dive into some of the specific configuration options and whatnot. So first, before anything, this is the OhMyForm website. It allows you to craft beautiful forms in seconds. It's very similar to something like Google Forms, except for you can self-host it on your very own Linode here on Akamai Connected Cloud. You can see here there's a bunch of features built in, allowing you to administer, analyze, and distribute free forms, and the beauty of it is open source software. If I scroll up here, and go to the documentation, it's not too thick, or it doesn't have as much information as I would like, but it does have the various Docker Compose variables that you can use. And if we go back here, we have the quick start to how to actually get it installed in Docker, and there's specific kind of information on it if you want to actually compile it locally from source. Their GitHub actually has some more information than their website if you are interested, including a demo that you can check out if you'd like to. This will be linked down below, and some more specific information on all the features, but we're going to dive into that right now. This right here is my custom instance of OhMyForm on my personal website that I'm actually going to be using. And here it's pretty simple. You can see home, we have our total forms. I set up 1 just as a demo. We have total users 1, which is my admin account, and we have 5 submissions, all myself, making sure it works. If we go to profile here, we just have some pretty simple settings for your specific user. You can enable or disable registry, so you could have other people on here creating forms if you'd like to. Skipping forms for now, going to administration, we have users. And this is really the only admin option, is to go ahead and edit users yourself from the admin account. And of course, if you would like to, you could delete users from here as well. We have an option to change the language. We have our version here. And then if I go up here, for example, we can access the profile. Incredibly lightweight, not a lot going on here because it really just serves one specific purpose, and that is forms. Forms do have a lot more options. We can see the one I have here. Content requests, I'm the owner, language, I created it a couple days ago. And then we have specific settings for this. So if I click on this, for example, this is going to show me all my submissions. Now, if I open up the first one, or the last one, you could see it's generic stuff. I'll go and open up the first one I did, which is a little more detailed and it has some better information. We have our submission. We get some device details, if that's something you're interested in. It was a desktop device. And then we have the value. Social media, this is a link to my social media, a video request, and then the name of the person who submitted. And then if I go back to forms here, I can actually click on this, which will take me to the form, and this is what it looks like. Very simple, fill it out, you click next, and it says your form was submitted successfully, and then it will show up in the administrator's dashboard. Now, if I go ahead and click edit, it's basically going to give us the same view if we want to make a new one as well. Here we have the form fields, so I only have 3 as you saw. We have our request, social media, and name. And over here is where you add fields. So if I click this dropdown, we have basically everything you'd expect from an application like this, including checkbox, dates, dropdowns. We have map locations, number, radio switches, ratings, sliders, and a lot more. For example, let's add a radio switch and then click add field, and then we have our new field here. So this, let's say if I want to ask people if we want to share your name. For the description, I could put something like mention your name in a video if submission accepted. There we go. We can make this required or not, and that's an option for just about everything. And then we have our options. So I'm going to add a value. The value is going to be a simple yes, no, and this one is going to be yes. And I honestly don't know what this is going to look like, so I may need to customize this after I finish because I haven't actually used the radio button. But yes, no, and from there we could go ahead and save it. And then let's see what it looks like. So let's head back to forms, click on this, And there we go, it looks pretty good. I might want to flip this around, usually yes comes first, but now we have this option to select. And then if I kind of fill it out with generic information here real quick, please make video. Click on next. There we go, thank you for your submission. You could restart the form if you'd like to. And then heading back over here, clicking on this to actually see the submissions. We can see the last changes right here a minute ago, this new submission. If I open it up here, we can see share your name is now set to the value of yes. So that's just one example of being able to add various items to the form. So if I go back to forms, click edit, we can see some other things too. So that is the default fields. Of course, you can rearrange those, play around with them as you see fit. But here we have some base data. So is live, show footer. You could change the title and all that. Design right here, you probably saw it was quite bland when I first opened it up. You can actually go ahead and change some of the coloring to fit whatever your business's kind of color schemes and actual identity kind of is. So like I can make this green, for example, and you have specific color code options. Background color, we could make it like a yellow. It's probably not going to look that good. Question color, we can make a more like lighter gray. And then let's switch this around, for example. So we want the button color to be dark and then the text color to be lighter. And then go up here, save it, go to forms, view it. And yeah, that doesn't look very good, but if you actually played around with it and customized it, you can make it look real nice. And then going back in here to edit, you also have notification options. I'm not going to go into full depth on setting up notifications. Basically, you could set it up so you can get emails, but to do that, you're going to want to set up a local email server, and that is for another video. Of course, you could always just log in and see your submissions. Then we have the start page. This can be a different page that starts up so you can give some more context and information about what the form is going to be about. If you enable that, add a title, add a paragraph, and then you have your continue button. And then you could add other buttons. So if I added a button, you can have redirect buttons that take you to other places or other forms, which is very nice to have these options. And then we have the end page. So right now it's enabled. It just says thank you. And of course you can like get rid of that restart. You can add different buttons to take you to various social media or contact pages. And then we have some webhooks if I want to add one. You could enable that and add your hook URL if you would like to. And that really is everything this application has to offer. It's simple, it works exactly as it is intended to, and it's not bloated and bogged down with a bunch of extra features that you need. Now, as for the actual installation, again, I do recommend you check out that video I made on Portainer and all that. I actually demoed the installation process for this. Basically, if you're starting from scratch, what you want to do is use a Linode one-click installer to set up an instance of Docker. You can actually use the link down below for a $100 60-day credit if you're interested in setting that up today. If you're a new user, of course. And then from there, what I recommend is installing Portainer. And then you can use that to install just about any Docker applications. Let's actually go to my instance. So this right here is my actual live instance of Portainer that I use for the backend of my personal website. You can see it's running on a Nanode, 1 CPU, 1 gig of RAM, and I do have a couple different services. That's really all you need to get started, and you can upgrade it as you proceed and need more. But if I live connect to this, we could see our containers right now through just this one image or just this one Linode. I'm running Portainer, Plausible Analytics, as well as the OhMyForm container. Now I installed this by going over to stacks, adding a stack, and then it's actually right here. We're going to go to editor and then pasting this in. This you can find on that documentation page that we talked about earlier, but it's pretty simple. We have OhMyForm, we have where the data is going to be stored. So this is going to be in a hidden data directory on root that points to the data directory within the container. Create admin true. I have some basic admin stuff. I switched out my password real quick. We have our database URL. Now, if you want to set up that mail server that we talked about, this is the URI. So whatever service or server that you happen to use, you could paste that on in there. Mail from, just put whatever you need. Login note, you can disable this or change it. This is kind of the default right here. And then there are some other options. Some of the custom options that I added that aren't really there by default is hide the contrib, which is a little kind of corner banner that says what the application is. And I've disabled signups. This is running on the port 8080, and we are going to be restarting it unless we stop it. Now again, in that video that we went over Portainer, I talked about how to use this to set up a reverse proxy and install those SSL certificates. So again, that video will be linked down below. And once you get all this in, you spin it up, you set up your SSL cert, you're good to go. It's as easy as that to actually get this up and running. Again, everything I mentioned will be linked down below. And if you enjoy this content, do check out the other videos that are on this channel. There are a bunch of good stuff covering applications like this, some more complex topics in cloud computing, and even some simple introductory videos. So do check out this channel, subscribe so you do not miss our future uploads. And with all that, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day, and goodbye.